So UNESCO tells us, indeed, in the 21st century, the literacy of sustainable development will be as essential to comprehending the world as were, past tense, the traditional skills of reading and writing at the start of the 20th century.
The populace will not be allowed to know how its convictions were generated. When the technique has been perfected, every government that has been in charge of education for a generation will be able to control its subjects securely without the need of armies or policemen. Aldous Huxley, in his book Brave New World, said, "Most men and women will grow up to love their servitude and will never dream of revolution." There is nothing more efficient than using cinemas to spread the mega propaganda required for shaping society and their opinions. Americans are practically educated at the movie theaters. Hitler did just that with his war movies, many of which were staged documentaries. But before Hollywood was bought by the elite banksters and the New World Order pushers, we still had movies that questioned politicians.
You're talking to the Morning Post.
Oh, power of the press.
Ha 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 ha! Listen, bigger men than you have found out what the power of the press is. President, king.
Here's a reprieve.
Say, get out of here.
Oh, you can't bribe me. My wife's
Get out of here, you.
Oh, no, I won't. Here's the reprieve.
What?
I don't want to be a city sealer.
Who is
My
this
wife.
man? Throw him out, Frank.
All right, out you go.
Wait, just a minute. Wait a minute. Who's trying to bribe you?
They wouldn't take this.
He's insane. What did I tell you? An unseen power.
What do you mean by coming in here with a cock and bull story like that?
Frame up. He's an imposter.
Arrest him. Come on.
Just a minute. Trying to hang an innocent man to win an election, eh?
That's murder.
That's a lie. Never saw him before.
If I was to tell my wife...
What's your name?
Pettibone. Joe Pettibone.
When did you deliver this first, Mr. Pettibone?
Who'd you talk to?
They started right in bribing me.
Who's they?
Those. Them.
That's absurd on the face of it. Wonder he's talking like a child.
Yeah, out of the mouths of babes.
Hi, babe.
He's insane, drunk or something. Why, if this unfortunate man, Williams, has really been reprieved, I'm personally tickled to death, aren't you, Pete?
Oh, go on. You'd hang your own mother to be reelected.
That's
you
a
know
horrible
it.
thing to say about anybody, Miss Johnson.
Oh, you're marvelous. Take
Now,
a look
look
at
there, Walter. You're an intelligent man.
Never mind that. Let's have your story, Mr. Pettibone.
Well, 19 years ago, I married Mrs. Pettibone.
Skip all that.
Well, she wasn't Mrs. Pettibone
No,
then.
no, no,
she was
no.
one of the Jones...
Sheriff, this document is authentic, and Earl Williams has been reprieved. And our Commonwealth has been saved the painful necessity of shedding blood.
You said it. Now get off the soapbox. Save
That's
that for the
awful.
Tribune.
Pete, take those handcuffs off,
I
my
was just
friend.
going to.
I'm amazed that you're doing a thing like
Isn't
that.
he awful?
Walter, you don't know how badly I feel.
No.
No excuse at all for Pete to fly off the handle.
I was only doing my duty, nothing personal.
That's all right.
What'd you say your name was?
Pettibone, wasn't it? Yes. Here's a picture of my wife.
A fine-looking woman.
You haven't seen her yet.
Yeah, well, she's all right. All
Oh,
right.
well, she's good enough for me. If I was to tell my...
I understand perfectly, Mr. Pettibone, and as long as I'm mayor,
It
why...
ought to be about 3 more hours, I'd say.
Just long enough for us to get out a special edition asking for your recall.
And your arrest. You know, you little boys ought to get about 10 years apiece, I think.
Yep.
Don't make any hasty decisions, Mr. Burns. You might run into a thumping big libel suit.
You're going to run into the governor.
Why, my old friend, the governor, and I understand each other perfectly.
Yes, and so do I.
Today, Hollywood is mostly used for political propaganda. Persecution of the talented free thinkers of cinema can be traced back to Charlie Chaplin, one of the biggest talents ever. Charlie Chaplin was a British comic actor and filmmaker who became a worldwide icon in the silent era. Chaplin acted, directed, and produced The Great Dictator, years before Hitler took full control of Germany and began World War II. No major studio approved of his project. Sometime later, he was investigated by the FBI and falsely accused of being a communist. Charles Spencer Chaplin, when residing in America, was the subject of several reports associating him with communism. The American authorities ruled that he would not be permitted to re-enter the USA without satisfying the immigration authorities. "I believe in liberty. That's all my politics," was his defense. Unfortunately, He then took up residence in Switzerland. Many years of fighting for freedom and equality caused the loss of many Americans. But the show must go on, and Hollywood continues to give each other statuettes and prizes, practically oblivious of their role in the big picture. At the Oscars in 2013, not only the First Lady Michelle Obama presented the Best Picture Oscars, but 4 out of 9 nominations for Best Picture were of political content, one of them a complete political fabrication. And as a result of the royalty mentality, the seat fillers hired for the Oscar ceremony are asked not to make eye contact with the celebrities. So let's get real. America is a great country because of the freedom and equal opportunity to all that the Constitution provides and defends. This precious document was carefully written to keep the government small, obedient to the people, and to avoid the insane nobility behavior. Is global warming a lie? Is poverty a fabrication and a distribution-only issue? How can Brazil be poor? It has the 8th biggest gross national product and is the 7th richest country by natural resources on the planet. And this without its newest petrol findings. And now the banksters overrule government laws and are robbing from our private bank accounts? And we know that there is abundance on earth. There is enough food, shelter, land, hills, water, love, and culture. We also know that it is mostly confusion and lack of spirituality that causes havoc, from which the results is usually catastrophic. We are not these bodies, with all their attached designations. Our true selves are the souls living within the body. Only our bodies will pass, not us. We, the souls, are having a material experience.
And they're mobilizing the entire brutality of the worst form of police state to keep trade negotiations going.
We have to reevaluate what our relationship is to the sacredness of Mother Earth.
None of these people are against trade. They're just against exploitation.
Ultimately, I believe the key to the transformational change that we must negotiate is in fact a spiritual awakening.
No one saves us but ourselves. No one can and no one may. We ourselves must walk the path, said Buddha. We are also humbled by the size of this universe, that part of it that we are able to see, being that astronomers realize that 95% of the universe is invisible to their scrutiny, otherwise called dark matter. So science only deals with less than 5% of what is purported to exist, and they claim to know a lot. Wake up, sleeping souls. This is not only a physical and psychological battle, but a spiritual one. Sometimes physical force is necessary, but the real power is in our consciousness, and strength is a natural factor for the fully conscious being. We need only to educate ourselves as to the truth of what is going on in this realm we live in now. So let's go, soldiers. Our fight is against the native bad nature of the mind. Let us be amazed, delighted, happy, wonderful, glad, brave, true, and fortified. Let us be spiritual, understood, satisfied, blissful, intelligent, and marveled. Earth is our home for now, and liberty to choose how we live is our right. Let us give, laugh, care, play, run, embrace, create, practice love, and procure. Let us be Take the power back and forgive the ones struggling to control, for they are the ones controlled by their degenerated minds, which will leave them nothing before death. When our bodies give up with its last breath, let us have lived in peace and shared our lives rightfully. Mindfulness is a revolutionary act. So what are you doing for your freedom now? Charlie Chaplin said, "We all want to help one another. Human beings are like that. We want to live by each other's happiness, not by each other's misery. Soldiers, don't give yourselves to these brutes who despise you, enslave you, who regiment your lives, tell you what to do, what to think, and what to feel. The misery that has come upon us is but the passing of greed, the bitterness of men who fear the way of human progress. Don't hate, only the unloved hate, the unloved and the unnatural. The hate of men will pass, and dictators die, and the power they took from the people will return to the people. And so long as men die, liberty will never perish."